we are actually voicing today on behalf of our 3.3 million business owners, right? We are a 110 trade associations coalition, Industries Unite. So with this, today we will be addressing the pressing issues that is facing our day-to-day business owners. So with this, we will start the motion. I will pass on to my co-founder, Dato' David Gurupatam.
Okay, so I will be talking about the issues of the high fines, which is troubling the members of especially the business industry. I will be talking about issues on enforcement. I'll be talking about clarity. These are three main issues that have to be addressed now. And just to highlight to you what confusion there is with business, I want to show you the press reports. Okay? So the first one we have here is details of the 10,000 compound will be announced soon. Which country in the world do you announce the offence after you have put out the penal consequences? I think the Attorney General needs to look into this. This affects human rights under Article 5 of the Federal Constitution. Yes? So that is very serious. So where do we start? We start with the issue of the high fines. Our members have this to say. If you say fines are between 50,000, 10,000 to 50,000, right? Where do you come up with a number? Why? What is the rationale behind? We want the answer. What is the rationale behind the 10,000 and 50,000 fines? When the numbers are going down. The numbers are going down. Now this has a very significant impact on business. It has a very significant impact on people going out, on retail. If you open all the industries, but people are so afraid to go out because they cannot afford the fine or they are going to go to jail, what's the point? Right? So we have to deal with this. Second point, right, is what about the consequences? I mean, some people are going to make a mistake. I'll come to the clarity issue because it is not clear for everyone. Okay? Now you have enforcement issues. The enforcers are not clear, and I will come to that. Right? So what happens if somebody has been fined 10,000 or 50,000, or rather in this case, issued with a compound? What happens to that person if he cannot afford to pay? Think about it. The consequences are serious. Right? It affects your, if it is a young person, his whole future is gone because he may have a criminal record. Right? For something that he may or may not have done. Now these consequences are serious, and it's not something that somebody can just at the tip of the finger just say, I'm magically going to make fines like this. And I hope that the government takes into view, right? We are asking for the government to immediately review this and give us answers, right? The next one I want to talk about is enforcement, all right? If you are going to have the fine, we agree that the safety of the public, right, is paramount. That is not in dispute. What is in dispute here is how you go about it, right? And these high fines are not something that we accept, nor is it something that we agree with. And one of the main reasons for that is because of enforcement, right? Now, everybody is clear that everybody is unclear, right? Why? Look, PDRM official headline, right? Over 100,000 cops enforcement, uncertain about COVID-19 SOPs. This came from the enforcement, right? Ismail Sabri, clarify, people got mistakenly fined for crossing the inter-district travel. Ismail Sabri, 10,000 fine only for serious SOP breaches. What is serious and what is not serious? Who decides? In the same statement, he says, the IGP says, I got no discretion in this matter. I have to fine. Where is the clarity? Right? Right? Now the final one, the coup de grace. Right? 10,000 fine, but the compound will be announced soon. This is an admission that you don't even have the offences, and you're fining people 50,000 and 10,000. This is against the constitutional right of every Malaysian. All right? Now, over and above this, all right, not just the 10,000 will be. Okay, another beautiful one. Poor people will get exempted, but does that mean rich people are not exempted? We are not a communist country, Poor people get exempted, but rich people don't get exempted, or or they say that people who go to club will face a maximum fine. Where are these things in the constitution? Constitutionally is wrong, right? Article 8 of the Federal Constitution says equal protection under the law. Equal protection under the law. We are supposed to be protected under the law. So, what we are saying today is we want a complete reversal of this very, very onerous law that has just been created by magic. We must remember that there was no parliamentary sitting on this before they came up with this law. Right? An emergency ordinance law doesn't mean that our human rights can be violated. It is primary. Now I continue with the process. Even the process is constitutionally flawed. Why is it constitutionally flawed? Because if you have an offence, you are fined the maximum, right? Or you're compounded the maximum. 10,000, 50,000. IGP says there is no discretion. Whether you're poor, whether you're rich, whether you're sick, maybe you fell down, your mask came out, there is no discretion. Where's the appeal? The appeal lies with a district officer who may be miles away, who has never ever witnessed the event. Is that police officer going to come and tell what happened to the district officer? No. So what happens to that person? Does he have his constitutional right to appeal? I'm asking the Attorney General. How is it that these laws were allowed to come about when you are the custodian? So I ask a question. Even in the court, when there is an appeal, evidence is brought. Here, I have a 50,000 ringgit fine. I go to a DO. Is the respective enforcement officer going to come and tell my side of the story? Are we going to leave it arbitrarily to one person who has more power than even the Court of Appeal? Now, these are all very fundamental constitutional issues that affect the rights of Malaysian public. And we represent 3.3 million businesses. You just have to multiply that by X number of people and the people working under them. That is exactly what the Rakyat is saying. Alright? Now, then we have the third conflict. What is the third conflict? The conflict between federal laws and state laws. Okay? What are we talking about here? The federal says, hiburan, for example. You know how much confusion the word hiburan made? What was the consequence of the word hiburan? You know how different, until today, different local councils are interpreting it differently. Right? 3 weeks ago, we had an issue in Bangsa Telawi. Enforcement said, we are interpreting this way. We are right. They were wrong. So what happened to the people who were, when the enforcement officers there, what happened to all those people? Right? What about their rights? And it's happening today. It's happening in Sungai Petani, where on the same issue there's difference of, interpretation. The same thing is happening in Penang, where differences in interpretation, despite the fact that it's been clarified. And these are not something that we are coming up with. These are reports that come from our members. Again, 110 trade associations speaking with one voice. 3.3 million businesses speaking today with one voice. Okay? So state and federal cannot understand each other. Right? And the state on their own now come up with their own rules. What happened in PJ? 5 reports 2 weeks ago. Right? Piped music. They got fined 25,000 or compounded with 25,000. Now, at a time when businesses are forced, they can only have half capacity. They can't even make ends meet. They got a fine of 25,000 for pipe music. And this fine and these people have been operating, the state never, right? The council never went after them for pipe music. But suddenly they said, no, we are enforcing this. Okay? They don't, for the owner, just think about it. This is what the owner came to us and said. The owner says, Dato', I've never had this problem before. I don't have a live band. I don't have a DJ. I'm a restaurant. I'm playing a certain type of music that is, for the ambience of the kind of food that I'm serving. I pay MACP. I pay all the other things. Right? So, are you going to use the letter of the law? How difficult was it for the enforcement to tell that person, look, we are enforcing it like this, but if you do it again, we will fine you 25,000. Where is the compassion? That's what I'm asking. Where is the compassion? Right? Where is the compassion from the people who are there to protect and serve the public? I'm sorry if this sounds very harsh, but it has to sound harsh because this is not my words. These are the exact words of the person who made the complaint to us. And as I said, we speak with one voice, right? So then we have to deal with the fact that everything is changing on a daily basis. Yes, we understand this is a novel situation. Right? This is something that the world has not seen. Malaysia has not seen. There is no standard manual. But please understand that whatever decision that is made up there is affecting business. Okay? It has, and businesses are now in a very chronic situation. The Associate Chamber of Chinese Businesses just said today, 80% of Chinese businesses 80% of Chinese businesses in this country cannot last beyond June. Cannot last beyond June. Now, if that is how significant the problem is, and the government is going to burden them, then we are looking at a very, very serious situation. The government should be assisting them. Don't get me wrong, we are very grateful to the government of Malaysia. Over the last 2 months, we have engagement with 6 ministries. We have had meets with Tengku Zafrul, Azmin Ali, KPDNEH, MIDEC. They have KPKT. They have been very accommodating. The government has been very accommodating. We are not here to be confrontational. They have open door policy. They have engaged us with their teams, and over the last 2 months we have been able to work together with specialists from industries. We have given them data and we have been able to achieve a lot. I am not here to criticize the government. We are Industries Unite. We work with the government of the day, right? We are non-confrontational. Why? Because we will not do anything to cause any disturbance in the confidence of the investors in our market. We will be shooting ourselves in the foot. No, we support the government. But we are here to tell the government to listen to business. Please. because this issue has become very chronic and very serious. On that note, I will pass the floor back to the chairman today, Erwin.
Right. Thank you, Dr. David.